Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath. Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
Are you struggling to come up with your next piece of content, or even, God forbid, the idea for it? How about if I could give you not one, not two or three, not even 5? What if I could give you 10 websites that could create an endless source of content ideas? Would you like that? Would you want to know what they are? Stay tuned and find out.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the heck is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another dose of endless content wellspring learning. And I am your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. And yeah, as most of you know, been in the coaching, course creation, and online space since the 90s, so got a little experience under my belt. But here's the thing. Here I am, still learning. The bigger question, my friends, is who are you? And to me, the answer to that question is infinitely more important, because I believe you are a driven entrepreneur. Perhaps even an infopreneur that's here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And how do you build your empire build your business into the empire it deserves to be? With content. Endless amounts of content. And if you're anything like me, you're always on the lookout for new content ideas. Maybe it's in conversations that you're having with prospects, with clients, with friends, with strangers for that matter. And if it's anything like me, you don't always have the time to come up with all the damn ideas all by yourself. And that's why I want to give you yet another list. I know I've given you content ideas before, but here we're going to give you 10 websites, right, that can help you generate an endless stream of content ideas and hopefully save you hundreds and hundreds of hours in the process. Now, mind you, I think if you're the expert in whatever field you're in, and I don't care whatever that field, maybe that field is licking drywall, you should be able to take an idea and go, oh man, I know how my audience would love to hear about that. So as you're listening to these, it isn't to be, how do I want to say this? This is not so you can go out and copy and paste the content into share with your audience. I don't think you're doing your audience or yourself any favors if you're going to go do that. And if you are going to do that, just go ahead and hit fast forward and go to the next episode of this podcast. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, hit fast forward and go to the next video, because this is not for you. If, however, you are knowledgeable in your field and you're just looking for an idea that you could leverage to go, oh man, I know my audience would love to hear about that, and here's how I can apply my knowledge to that idea, then this episode, my friend, is just for you. And let's start with website number 1. Socrates, or as some of you may pronounce it, Socrates. If you're looking to get to know your audience just a little bit better and uncover some insights about what they're thinking, then you probably want to check out Socrates. It's a search engine that's really, I think, specifically designed to help you learn more about your target audience. You can use Socrates to find out what topics in keywords that are already popular inside your target audience. And also you can discover some common problems they're facing, some common questions they're asking. This information is going to be hugely valuable because it allows you to create content that is relevant and useful to your audience, which should lead to more clicks and more engagement. And the website for this one is answersocrates.com. And just for your information, I'm going to put the links to all these websites down in the show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be down there in the comments down there, or down there in the video description. So go down there and check these out one by one or all at once. Okay. I think one of the things I like about Socrates is you can put in a topic, right? And then you can put in, maybe you want to narrow it down to a specific country. You know, I'm in the United States. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're in the UK or Finland or Austria or Germany or Russia or Taiwan. And so you want to look for something narrowed down to your country. And then you could also narrow it down by language. It very much reminds me in some ways of answerthepublic.com. However, the nice thing about this one is you get more than one question a day, so that you could put something in here and get lots of examples. They give you, like if I typed in life coach here, the first thing they give you is people often ask, is a life coach worth it? How much do you pay for a life coach? What qualifications do you need? What's the difference between a therapist and a life coach? This is all just great topics right here that you could put out if you are a life coach. And then it tells you a list of questions. There's 112 questions on here that just pumped out for me just by typing in life coach. And then it goes by like Answer the Public, shows it to you by propositions. So 4, life coaches for teens, life coach for women, life coach for men, right? And then it goes on to do comparisons, a life coach and a mentor, a life coach versus a counselor, compared or similar, life coach, similar jobs, life coach alternatives. It just goes through all of this on and on and on, so that you can give this wealth. I mean, just this one website right here could create content that you would not go through in a year. But I'm not going to stop there. Let's go. Website number 2. Many of you probably heard this one, Quora. Over 300 monthly users. Quora is a veritable gold mine of content ideas. And here's the best part. You can easily find ideas that are relevant in your niche or your industry. To start, you simply obviously go to Quora.com, type in the keyword or phrase into the search bar, and you see all the questions that people are already asking. And here's the cool thing about it. You can also see the answers. You can go in there and answer it yourself. You can use those questions as the basis for your own content. Let's take it a step further. Let's see you're going through some of the answers. Like I did the same thing here. I'm going to probably use this life coach example all the way through all these websites. I typed in life coach and I see all these great questions. And here's one that's been answered 175 times and been followed 251 times. And the question is, what's the best way to get started as a life coach? Okay, maybe that's a piece of content you need to do. I don't know. What is a life coach? Right? It's been followed 91. It's got 57 answers. Here's a cool little twist of an idea for you. What if you see an answer that you 100% disagree with? Make that a piece of content. Controversial content is always good for stirring up conversation. I don't want to stir up conflict. You want to stir up conversation. And so if you see an answer to a question, you're like, I saw this, and I want to give you my 2 cents on this answer because I 100% disagree, and here's why. People are going to, wait a minute, I thought that was a great answer. Let me see your opinion, right? And it offers them the opportunity to step into the conversation, which, like we talked about in our previous episode, can warrant you and garner you more comments and more interaction, which is what we all want, isn't it? Okay, number 3, Mail Brew. Now, Mail Brew is a little bit different. Mail Brew is a daily email digest, right? Delivering content from your favorite creators in this concise, easy-to-read format. Okay, that sounds like a marketing pitch. And it's what it is. It's the easiest way that you can stay up to date with the trends and the news that's going out there. It's kind of like, Google Alerts, right? You can set alerts for different things that are going on. Mail Brew is just another version of that. You can stay up to like I was saying, you can stay up to date on the latest trends, the news, in creative industries without having to search through hundreds or even dozens of websites, right? Each email that links to the best content from your favorite sources of the new and trending articles. So check that one out at mailbrew.com. Of course, I can't give you a great example of that because I didn't go out there and do a life coach example of that in advance so I could pull up the email. Next on the list is probably one many of you have heard. I don't know if you've tried it or not. Google Trends. Google Trends, my friend, is a great way to see what people are searching for on the internet. So you might get some immediate reaction out of this. And as you might expect, the search data can be a great source of content ideas, right? So to get started, simply go, type in a phrase or a keyword like we were talking about on the other websites and see what's trending. So as I'm recording this right now, I just went ahead and did the life coach example. I can see here in the United States in the past 12 months, I got this nice trending over time. Seems like we're getting 83 to 110 searches for that every single day. I can see a lot of it by sub-region, Utah being the number one here in the United States. And then down at the bottom of it, I can see some related topics. And what I really like about this one is the breakouts. So down at the bottom, you can down here at the bottom on the right-hand side, now I'm saying this like you're watching with me, but I'm hoping you are. I see a breakout here of self-help alternative life coach. Ooh. So I could click on that as I'm doing that right now. And I can see that I'm seeing some daily hits on this from 44 to 100 searches a day. So, and that's just here in the United States. So it's a great example of, oh, wow, so people are searching for this. I know about this topic. Let me write some content. So when they search for it, my article comes up or my video or my podcast episode, right? Now, the big benefit of this one is you're going to get hopefully some immediate reaction. So if you go to Google Trends and you leverage something that's happening right now, especially on the breakouts, that means that something's spiking harder than usual, well, then you should be able to jump in on that and leverage that opportunity to get in front of those eyeballs with Google. Next, we have number 5, Reddit. My wife uses this one a lot and got me into using it, so I had to throw this one in here. Reddit is one of the most popular websites in the world, and it's also a great source of content ideas. Simply browse through all the various Reddits. Some of you may think of them as forums, and see what people are talking about. So once again, if I do like I have been doing here with the life coach example, I type in life coach up here at the top, and I can see a bunch of posts, maybe see some comments and communities. Right at the top here, it says, if anyone here a life coach or use services of a life coach, what has been your experience? Well, that's a question a lot of people have, and this one here pops right up at the top saying, wow, and it's got a number of upvotes and a number of comments on it. So you can see the questions that people are asking. Second one down here, how do you find clients as a life coach? Well, there's another opportunity you can leverage as your content. You can answer that question. And again, I'm just giving you one example here. Of course, your imagination is the only limit you're going to have on this. Next, number 6, BuzzSumo. Now, BuzzSumo is a tool that allows you to see the most popular content on any given topic. So once again, go to buzzsumo.com. You can type in a keyword or a phrase and see what's trending. Now, this particular one, I know also has a paid version, which I do not use. But if you go into the free version and type in, like I just did right here, life coach, you'll see 3 examples pop up. And what's neat about this one versus some of the others is it shows you Facebook engagement, Twitter shares, Pinterest shares, Reddit engagement, number of links, and an evergreen score. These all kind of give you a gauge about how popular this particular content in this example here is out there in the marketplace. And again, on this one, I haven't used the full version. And you can also narrow this one down by timeframes. So I want to look for the past month. Here in, let's go, the United States. Boom. Walk along with me in English, blah, 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 blah. And now my information has changed here, and I see a piece of content. It says, Milwaukee youth life coach killed in a crash. Impact on lots of people. Well, there's an interesting piece of content. So if you, as a life coach, just disappear, what is the impact of all the people that you have touched? people have to think beyond just the person that they're interacting with. You don't have to die. Maybe you just disappear. What I mean by disappear is you stop interacting with them. Maybe something happens in your world and you decide to shut yourself off. Well, you're having a negative impact on all these people. So my goal here is to share with you, you don't have to create something that is exactly like the piece of content they're sharing. You can read that piece of content and go, it might spark an idea. Heck, read 2 or 3 pieces of content, put them together and go, oh my God, if I did this and this, put those together, I'll have an amazing piece of content. Next on the list, number 7, Google News. Yeah. Google News is a great way to stay up to date on the latest news in your industry or anything for that matter. As you might expect, the news can be a great source of content ideas. You can comment on the various news pieces that are out there, or it might spark an idea inside your head. And now to get started, once again, simply type in that keyword or that phrase and see what's trending. And then you can use that data to come up with your own content ideas. So I'm right here on Google News, and I just typed in life coach. I'm going to use an example for everything. First thing up here is an article from the New York Post, How to Take Charge of Your Future According to This Life Coach. What an amazing piece of content. So you can go read that article and come up with your own version. Maybe you even counter it and say, well, yeah, I think 2 of the 3 points they made are valid, but this last one I totally disagree with, and here's why. There's a Forbes article in here called Career Coach, Life Coach. What's the difference? There we go. So you could really go through this. And here's some things. Here's one down here at the bottom from Newsweek, How to Avoid Your In-Laws This Christmas. From a life coach things, dealing with people is a piece of that. Maybe there's a piece of content in there. A life coach shares motivational gifts to give during the holiday season. That is a great piece of content. How you can, as a life coach, to keep up with this example, I'm going to beat this one to the ground, could give your prospects, your clients, your customers some great ideas for motivational gifts for their loved ones on the holiday season. All right, number 8, Twitter. Yeah. I had to do this one, right? Twitter is a great place to find out what people are talking about in real time. And as you might expect, these conversations can be a great source of content ideas. To get started, once again, type in the keyword or phrase and see what people are tweeting about. And then you can use those tweets as the basis for your own content. Step into the conversation, become a part of it, and then leverage that to create your own unique content as a result. So as I type in life coach right here, one of the things that really grabs my eye right away is this one here. It says, reintroducing you to the meaning of life and beyond. Oh, that's an interesting That's an interesting piece of content. I don't know what it's about, but it's got my mind just clicking right here. There we go. Now in this particular example, it's actually the introduction to one of the people. It's Twitter's trying to get me to follow, but if I click on their profile, they have a whole host of great pieces of content in here. When someone says no to you and you get offended, then you should step back and check your own boundaries. It's a possibility that you don't say no to people, and that is what you expect others to do as well. That's an interesting thought, right? How are you feeling when someone says no to you? Well, what does that say about you as a person and your ability or inability to say no? There's a great piece of content right there from a single tweet. All right, number 9. You guys are going to hate me for this. YouTube. YouTube is one of the world's largest video platforms. I'm sure I'm speaking to the choir. You all know what it is about. And it's a great source of content ideas. Once again, youtube.com, type in the keyword or phrase and see all the popular videos that are out there, right? And you can use one of these videos as the basis for your content or as a springboard or as a thought generator. Now, you can take this one step further when you go to YouTube and say, I'm going to type in life coach like right now while I'm talking to you. And one of the things you'll see is on the upper left, just under the search bar term where I typed in life coach, you'll see filters. And you can narrow it down and say, show me everything for this month. And then by view count. And now what you're doing is you're narrowing it down to stuff that's being talked about more recently. You can even narrow it down to, I think it's this week, to today, the last hour, this week, this month, or this year. So if I wanted to say, show me everything that's been going on this week, that's got the most views, one of the top things I see up here is remembering the life and legacy of Mike Leach. Well, Mike Leach is a coach. Well, not exactly a life coach, but there we go. But if I open this up to a month, there's an interesting one in here that the ladies might enjoy. Female life coach speaks. Female life coach speaks the truth about career, women's masculine energy, and keeping them single. Wow. That would be interesting. I'm not a lady, obviously, but certainly I could see the attraction to that particular piece of content to the ladies out there. So if you are a coach that affects ladies, maybe you want to reach out and read that one and see what's going on. Here we go. Here's one. This life/business coaching scam is getting out of hand. Wow. That could be an interesting piece of content. Listen to that. Watch that video and introduce your own spin on it, right? Your own opinion on it. And last but not least is number 10. Now, people are going to think these is great sources, but you got to think about it, right? You got to open up your head here. Number 10, Pinterest, right? Pinterest is a social networking site where users can share and organize ideas and videos. Once again, same thing. Enter a keyword or a topic into the search bar up here, and you'll see all the latest related pins to what you typed in. This is a great way to find some visual content that is relevant to your audience to help you come up with ideas that are both interesting as well as being visually appealing. So I typed in life coach, and across the top here, it says, okay, there could be tools, quotes, photo shoot ideas, worksheets, logos, branding, business, and then there's this whole host of pins that people have popped up here. Maybe something's interesting. Oh, look at this. 57 success-proof life coaching niches. What? And then it's 12 plus free coaching exercises. This is a plethora of ideas here just waiting in the wings for you to go in there and add your special spin on it, your special interaction into it. You can go in here. Here's one that says, why hire a life coach? And it's one of those amazing little infographics, and it gives you 8 reasons why. It forms a circle, and in the center of that circle, it says, live your best life. Well, maybe you have additional steps in here. Maybe you have less. Maybe you go in here and say, well, that one doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to worry about that? It says boost your career. You're a life coach. I don't give a shit about your career. Of course, I do if I'm interested in you as a coach. But maybe you say, yeah, let's not worry about that one. You take that one out and put something else there instead that you think is more applicable. It's up to you. You're the content creator, right? These are just some ideas, some ways for you to get ideas so you can just, all right, I don't know what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to write about today, but I want to stay on schedule and I want to make sure I'm producing good content. Go out there and see what people are already producing, what they're already talking about, what's out there across the world, across your country, in your neighborhood, in the past 24 hours, in the past month or past week, and add what is uniquely you. You hear me use this saying all the time on multiple episodes from Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful and discard the rest, and then add what is uniquely you. So as you go through one or more of these websites, absorb what you're finding is useful to share with your audience. Discard the rest. It'll be there next time you go and search. And then, my friend, add what is uniquely you. All right, there you have it. 10 websites for an endless source of content ideas. You'll get so many ideas going through them once, you'll be like, oh my God, I've got enough content to last me a month. Okay, great. Create a month's worth of content and move on. And then later on, go back through and look at them again. And maybe you don't use them all. Maybe you use one. And then next time you use a different one. And the next time you use a different one. Or maybe you find a combination of the two. Oh, I want to keep up with the trends. So I'm going to use the two that show me the trends. And when I find a trend, I'm going to go out and use a couple of the others to find the content that I'm going to use to leverage into that trend. Yeah, whatever works for you in your niche. All right. You get out there, you run your race and you get results. And I'm serious when I say this, let me hear about those results, right? Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com. Email me, share with me the tip or idea you came away with, how you put it into action, right? What uniquely factor you added to it. Who knows? Maybe bring you on a show and let you share your genius with my audience. All right, and with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action. Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.